Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Plan in Traffic. We do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, and we talk about everything that you can put gas in cars, boats, trucks. We do it all. We got my man Ray. What's up, Ray?
Good to see you again this week. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and any week I can say that I'm here is a good week. And you've landed us another phenomenal guest. This week we have Carmen Martin on from AM Hot Rod Glass, which is something that we all look through it, but we don't know, what goes behind it, what goes into making it. And she does some really cool stuff. So buckle up and hang on because this is going to be a great show.
Yes, yes. So, Carmen, I'm pleasure to have you here on the show,
Thank you
and
for having me. How thank you.
we're looking through your website and your social media and stuff, and a lot of the same people have been on this show that you deal with a lot. So, tell us a little bit about what your company does and how you got into the auto industry.
Automotive industry. Well, I'm an acrylic and polycarbonate fabricator. I'm an OEM manufacturer. I started in the power boating industry, and I started with one client building 3/4 thick, very large windshield applications for power boats. And I started with one client who happened to be the best in the business, Skater Power Boats, and then the rest came. Once you build something for Peter Ledden, everybody wants that type of application. And then I don't know, I just started working, and I had some friends that we were just talking about, the guys at West Coast Custom, Ryan, Alex, Sean Mahaney, um, Rory. They were friends of mine, and I think I met Dana, Big Dane, at
Big Dan.
the little. Yeah, we worked together on the last episode of Pimp My Ride.
Yeah.
So that's where I met him. And when I opened my business in 2006, the first thing they did is they said, "Hey, Ryan had moved to Corona. He started Street Customs. It was the first season of Street Customs." And
Hmm.
he said, "Hey, we want you to come down and look at this Range Rover. We want to put a roof panel on the top of it." So the opening had to be maybe 2 feet or a foot and a half by maybe 3 feet wide. And we ended up putting maybe a 4 by 5.5 foot roof panel.
Well, that
Wow.
And it
girl,
was, yeah, and it was called the Royal Rover. It was on the first episode of Street Customs. And so, the guys had a new show, and they were like my brothers, and it just kept going into the next thing. They're like, "Hey, we've got Rusty Wallace's Nomad. We're going to put a roof on the wagon."
yeah.
Or Van's van. They put a skateboarding thing, and Ryan's like, "Okay, I want this big roof panel, so they could skate actually inside the van." So, surprise, surprise. So we built a lot of stuff. I think I did 3 seasons of that show.
So just to jump back a minute, you said when you were doing the power boating stuff, you did say 3/4 inch thick, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost
That's
bulletproof.
Well, the company is Skater Power Boats. They had just designed a brand new hull, and it was a milled application. The first time we started working with, symmetry and parts and milling plugs and making tooling. And so, Peter gave me the opportunity to make, that windshield assembly. And to give you an idea of size, one side of that windshield lays out to a 6 by 8. So that's a 6 by 8 piece that's 3/4 thick and optically clear.
How heavy is that?
Finished, trimmed, ready to go to the client, maybe 90 pounds.
Wow, I would think it would be heavier. That's yeah, 'cause
It
that's
is, but by the time we trim it out to something that
right, right.
about
So
90 pounds.
how do you actually? What's the process to form something like that? Because you do bend it, and then more importantly, how does it stay optically clear in the radius, or
Ah,
does it?
That's
well, there's two things. One, We thermoform material. We take flat stock and basically bend it. We bend it, we stretch it, depends on the application. For our F-16s, that's a stretching process. And other products, we use different types of tooling, pretty much anything. Maintaining optics and clarity is just a company secret. It's something I developed, and we just don't share that part of it.
Okay.
Nice.
Well,
It's not
I didn't.
easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy.
yeah, I would believe, because I've done some work through my engineering work through the years. I have done some stuff with optics,
Yeah.
and and I know how precise things have to be and how little they have to be off to be not good. So that's
Yeah.
kudos to you. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That is great. So you could make a Batmobile or a Orbitron, or right. I mean, you could really recreate any of the great cars from the '60s that had all
Yeah.
the Lexan stuff. That's wild.
I didn't go into this. This is one thing people don't really know about me. I don't have a background before in working in shops, woodworking, or any type of physical labor like that. I was a research analyst by trade. I came from Hughes, Avacom, and Rockwell Collins passenger systems. So,
Okay.
For me, what I had to do was really research and learn about how other companies that put things online, and way back when we had, what was that, dial up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine doing research with dial
Right.
up.
Oh yeah.
So I had to learn, and in order for me to learn my process 20 years ago, it cost about $10,000 and 3/4 material back then,
Mm,
and that was my learning curve.
yeah.
It was taking the time to blow through and make my notes and understand with with my whole team, and figure out what process was. But we really started with one client. We learned that one application and perfected it, and then same methodology, different applications.
Right.
That's
So it's
it.
not it's not as quite expensive as learning how to cut diamonds, but you don't want a lot of waste because
No,
it is expensive. Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, it's expensive as diamonds now.
yeah, you
Mhm.
actually just mentioned, when you said where you came from, some of the optic work I did back in my early engineering days was with a Hughes thermal imaging system. It was
Mhm.
one of the first. It was you. I mean, now I look back at how big this thing was, and now you can do it on an iPhone. You can do FLIR stuff on an iPhone. But yeah, it was all used. They were always on the forefront of all the
Mhm.
good stuff. Yeah.
You have good people around you too. You
Mhm.
know, I used to sub out a lot of my tooling in the beginning, and I didn't know fiberglass. And it was, my boat builder, Peter Litton, that walked me through and taught me how to lay up fiberglass to
Mhm.
bring that all in-house. We do everything. We do our scratch resistant coating, that's post-process, that's all in-house. Every bit of tooling is now made in-house by these little hands. And everything is processed. We are truly a one-stop shop now.
Cool. Damn,
Nice.
Lewis, if you didn't have so many damn solar panels, you could have a nice big roof panel on that bus, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard about the bus.
Ooh. We've all heard
Yeah.
about the bus. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long process, and me being a car guy, I wanted to do a whole bunch of car stuff to it, but you can only go so far on a bus. But
Well, you had to go a different direction. You had to do a bunch of house stuff to it,
yeah.
Yeah.
and don't let Lewis shine you. It's a phenomenal build. It's actually, I'll go on record as saying it's a world class build, because all the other ones I've seen, um, they just don't compare.
No, I
they,
appreciate it.
they don't
I'm
compare.
in it right now, actually.
Yeah.
I saw a motorcycle. I saw a motorcycle that you had. Is that your bike?
Yeah, the goldish color bike.
Yes, that's
Yeah, that's
nice.
Peaches.
Peach is
Yeah,
nice.
thank you. It's a '87 Yamaha Venture, and I took it all the way down to the frame and redid everything on it.
Yeah, that looked really nice. I
A
saw
lot of
the.
fiberglass work.
Mm-hmm.
I did some stuff. I'm going to redo it. I got some new ideas. Every time I go to SEMA, I see something. I'm like, oh man, I got to do that to Peaches. So she's up on deck.
That's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, speaking of West Coast Customs, me and Q became really good friends. And Big Dane too. I do leather stuff for him. He's he started cooking
Yeah.
barbecue stuff. So I
Came
made
out
him
to Texas
holsters.
for barbecue competitions a few years back.
Yeah.
He was
So I
at
made
Houston Rodeo.
so I made him holsters. I have a leather company. I make leather products. So I made him holsters to hold his thermostat things, the test the meat.
That's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my boy, man. Him and Q. Me and Q been, close for a while, 20, 30 years. Yep.
That's a I think about those dudes, and it was like a really big learning curve for me, especially coming from a place where they were rock stars from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
Ryan truly has the most, that show was like 10,000 times distribution, and it was international. You could
Yeah.
be anywhere in the country and people would recognize you from the show.
Mm.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, they're, he kind of set everything up. I think him and Jesse. But wait a minute. Tell me about Mike Ring. I hear he comes
Oh
on your
man, that's my
show a
boy
lot.
right there.
I was
Yeah.
So
hoping he was going to be on.
so you know what? You were not feeling good because you were supposed to be on a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I forgot to text him and say, hey, I didn't want to text him and then you didn't make it. But man, Mike's my dude, man. Every time we see him at SEMA, he like hugs us. He don't want us to leave. He's like, "Oh man, hang out with us.
No,
Let's talk."
those are
good,
good guys.
good guys, man. I love those guys, and I love their builds.
Yeah.
They're you know, they're in the top 3 in my book of the builders.
Yeah.
Really, those guys
Yeah.
aren't playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I can't say, I can't, I can't agree with you. I can't,
Well,
I
you
no,
said,
understand.
you know what? I can agree this. So I consider Mike and Jim, like I consider them dear friends. They gave me projects at the very beginning when I came into automotive.
Yeah.
And, Troy, of course, Troy's my favorite. Those are when you work with Troy, you come from
Rad
um,
rods.
Rad Rides by
Yeah.
Troy. Yep, Troy Trepanier. When
Yep.
you work with Troy, you step into a world of failure is not an option. You have to push it. There was one time the streamliner he built for the Marianis. It was the first streamliner that Troy had built for Bonneville, and it was right after his father Jack died.
Mm.
And so the guys were just working, working, working. And the way we designed that, we actually blueprinted a canopy, and they would send me, and it's hanging in my room, my conference room. They would send me a rolled out canopy that they would blueprint, and they would say, this is what we want it to look like. This is the width, this is the length, and this is the shape. And then I would write notes back to them and mail it back and saying, this is what the acrylic can do. It can't take this shape. And then they would send it back and forth. And then I would write little notes like, call a sister back when I call you at the shop. And Troy wanted that canopy to be a little over 1/8 inch at the top of the canopy, the height of the canopy. So it's a process where we stretch the material. When I make my F-16s, I start with 1/2 inch or 3/4. And so what I had to start with was a 1/4 inch material. So
Wow.
yeah.
never done it before. My
So
team has never been able to maintain that with optics, clarity, right size, all of it.
I would say
And
you're starting with a quarter, then you're going to half that.
1/8 inch,
So
little
yeah,
over.
that's when you said half. I'm thinking, oh my, that's a lot of material to come
He
down.
wanted that canopy. So there's a harness around it. He wanted that canopy. Whoever was in that cockpit, he wanted them to be able to lift and get out.
Oh, I see. So you needed it had to be light, or it had to be
Yeah.
assisted. I guess it would have to be assisted somehow.
And
Um,
it had to be appropriate material. It had to be optically clear,
right.
you know. And so I called him. I think we blew through 3 canopies And I was like, that's it. We're not going to get it. We're going to need to go thicker.
Yeah.
And I called him up and I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to get it. And he goes, failure's not an option. Goodbye.
That sounds like working with Lewis. He tells us that all the time. So, the one thing I thought of when you were mentioning the Ring Brothers, and I noticed on the
Yeah.
picture that we see, the flush mount glass, like the stuff you do for the Corvettes, the split window vets and all. I mean, first time I saw a Ring Brothers car with those flush mount, front and rear glasses, I was like, wow.
Now, did you?
Yeah, but Mike and Jim, I only have a few projects with them
Okay.
because it's just different. So some of the things that I get with a lot of builders is the complicated stuff. So you have to think like the Pantera, that was my first build with Mike when I met them.
Uh-huh.
Mike had developed the headlights and he was casting and he kept getting, he said, air bubbles, I think, in that process. And he sent me the tools and we were done in a week. I ran them that same day when I got them and they worked. They're on that car to this day.
Right.
And then let me tell you about the Chevelle, the one that you put on the background.
Is that a recoil? Were you there when they unveiled it?
I have some product on the back end of it.
Do you? So I was there when they unveiled it, and I used to have a car magazine. So my camera guy was all in the mix of it, and we were all there. So I probably you look familiar. I think I probably met you somewhere in the mix.
We were there when they unveiled on that checkered floor. It was for Royal Purple or something like that, right?
Yep.
Well, I lost a bet. So I get a phone call from these dudes, and they're like, Carmen, Jim thinks that the thickest we can get this red taillight brake material, the thickest we can get that is, I don't know, he goes 3/8. He's all, nobody can find it. I was like, nope. I said, what do you want? 0.944 and 1 inch? And I said, I bet you I can. And they're like, I bet you can.
Yeah. Oh, game on.
Yeah.
So I did get it in that size. But in order for them to get their run, they only ordered one sheet. So I had to order the second one for like $4,000.
Oh, wow.
So they truly won the bet. But I mean, I get challenging stuff for them. I think I've only done one application for them for Wes Rydell's car. And they did it a week before SEMA. They sent a box to my shop a week before SEMA.
A week. Wow.
1 week before SEMA.
Well, they knew you could handle it.
Yeah.
Look, see me looking the other way? That happens a lot. I would say they're just really good friends. I've gotten to know them over the years. Things have come up where there's projects, that we talk about, but they're very specific on what they put on their cars.
Right.
And their clients, it's just, they're very specific about what they're doing. But I've worked with them on a few projects and they've been great. They're great guys to work with.
And Nancy, I talk to Nancy all the time, Ring, Mike's wife, and they are just the nicest people. They're treat me like I've known them for 30 years.
Very welcoming.
I mean? Yeah.
Very welcoming. Always open arms and just very kind words. They're good people.
Yeah.
So I was traveling about 6 or maybe 8 months ago, last summer, and we were in Wisconsin, and so we were going to stop there and see them on the way down. But they were traveling. They were like 2 days out, so I couldn't. The times missed it because I wanted to stop and see their shop. But next time I'm out that way, I'm going to stop and see them.
Lewis, just so you know, Carmen, Lewis makes dates and plans his events by where the sun is at any given time, or like it's got to be like the planets have to align almost, or he's not going there. So that's
well, listen, I messed up. I messed up bad because I left Arizona. I was in Arizona all winter, and we had to come back here for doctor's appointments to Ohio, and it's freaking cold. It's 35 degrees. You see, I'm wearing a ski cap. I'm all buckled up.
You got to do what you got to do. You had a good run. Come on.
Man.
So, Carmen, speaking of people, how many people are in your shop?
Now,
Oh, yeah.
we have a small crew. So
Okay.
usually there's 2 or 3 of us in the shop. I have mostly everybody's part-time. So I tool by myself. I do all of my molds. And then I run about 80% of my product by myself.
Okay.
So I'm more focused in the automotive right now. And then when projects come in for motion pictures or like very large boat projects that we have going on, that are coming in, I bring in the rest of my employees. So there's usually 4 more people that will come in and work part-time.
What type of stuff do you do for the motion picture industry?
Gosh, everything. Sometimes it'll be replacing windows. So they have glass people. Um, they have every studio house has their glass guy that comes in and pulls out glass, but sometimes they want to film through it. You
Yeah.
know, that some a lot of times they want to take their like a 77 Cutlass station wagon for Paper Dolls. It was a series they were filming. The main vehicle was a 1977 Cutlass station wagon, and it had the band at the top that went down about 8 inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they're filming, they'll call me and they'll say, okay, rebuild this windshield, and do it in a week, get it on set, um, and then make it this color and then send it to us. So I do a lot of that where
So now,
they're
oh,
optically clear and they can film through it.
so when they say that, I mean, you don't have the car there to
No,
fit. So how do you make, how does it fit when you're done? I mean,
they'll usually drop me a glass, and
okay,
then
they'll give
I'll
you,
then I'll make
okay,
tooling and then make the glass.
got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And even
So
that is, I mean, even that in a pressure situation is kind of circumspect because cars aren't always straight. They don't always,
no, but we
do,
have a lot of flexibility with it. When
okay.
you're drop fitting the piece, everybody has the ability to, it has that little pinch, it has that little flex where you don't get that with the glass.
Okay.
Mm.
So what would the benefit for them what would the benefit be for them to have one of your shields in there as opposed to a regular glass windshield? Why would they want?
Too. Sometimes, sometimes it can be that I have to make it out of polycarbonate because they're going to be crashing, they're going to be having a stunt double
Okay.
flying into the window, and the majority of it, the main reason I'm asked to do it is because it's optically clear and
Yeah.
film quality. They can get those corner shots, they can get it from any angle when that car, when that camera's on outside of that car.
Okay. Makes
Wow.
sense. Yeah.
There's one movie I did a lot for years ago, but this is the best example, for so many different diverse things we did for this particular movie. It was Captain America Winter Soldier. So I built like 65 parts, and there were Suburbans. So I replaced 5 Suburban windows with polycarbonate for impact. And then there's a scene when the movie comes up, there's these half cylinders that come up and they're talking, it's part of their technology. And, we make those cylinders or the whole CRT room, all the CRTs for that room they found. We had to do that. There's a big elevator scene, 1-inch glass.
Uh,
It's everything.
right.
And we can turn it around really fast for them.
Well,
Wow.
that's important. That's
That's
why you
great.
get to return work, I'm sure. Yeah. That's
And
Yeah.
then it's just building stuff that and then it's just building stuff that you just wonder, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
So how's the safety aspect of between the glass and the
well,
acrylic?
it depends on the application. So most of my clients are actually exempt. So I'm a glazer. I have my DOT. I don't actually stamp this product because it's not necessary. These vehicles are all historical vehicles or exempt from that process. A vehicle has the first 25 years of production life or manufacturing, and then the OEM no longer supports that. So my product is actually just filling and bridging that gap for them to have something in that space. The polymers, the testimonials we have are very strong. The impact resistance is there. And to give you a really clear idea of impact, that canopy I was talking about for Rad Rides by Troy, the Bonneville Streamliner, that canopy took a hit at 335 miles an hour.
Wow.
And the Marianis, Dennis Mariani was on his exit. He hit 335 miles an hour. A PVC pole he hit one of those. It dented the cowl, went up, it burned the window, and it took out the GoPro. And I got a phone call from Troy and the Mariani saying everybody saw it. The judges, it took out the GoPro. It was a clean break at the very top of the canopy, but where it hit at that impact, at that speed, it didn't impact my canopy.
Wow.
And so they taped it, put it back into the Streamliner, went into impound and went for the next run for the
Nice.
record.
Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
That's I get testimonials that, hey, I was driving 80 miles an hour. Jerry Dixie. I don't know if you know Jerry Dixie. Remember the road tour cars? Every year 10 would sponsor a road tour car.
Mhm.
So I'd get phone calls and Jerry would say, yeah, I'm driving 80 miles an hour to Texas and I get a big rock. Had it been glass, it would have shattered, but it nicked out. You know, polymers are different than when Gene Winfield and Daryl, all of those gentlemen were building, years ago. I use a lot of aircraft grade. I use a lot of solar control. Right now I'm building for a World Cup race boat, 3/4 thick solar controlled aircraft grade material for this particular client. It's got a heat reductive additive in it, and it's made for non-pressurized aircraft. So, we kind of we're a little bit more advanced than what the average end user thinks about polymers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. I've seen a lot of your cars, and I didn't realize it wasn't glass. And,
Did you see the Future Liner? Did you like that one?
Future Line is sick. Yeah.
That had bullet holes when it came to the shop. The glass
Really?
did on the sides. I think Kindig I think I did 10 years of builds with them. Those were fun. Like that was a really fun account. The Maybelline was my favorite.
Mhm.
The hood scoop and the windshield. Copper Caddy that was fun too. There was
Yeah,
a lot of
beautiful
good stuff
cars.
there.
Yeah. All the people you work with are amazing builders, and now they got amazing glass. I mean, you're in the mix. That is great.
No two ways about it. It's just the Future Line alone. I mean, that's
The Future. Why does that make you scratch your head?
my head itch. No, it's because I do stuff like that. I'm just like very handsy. No, I haven't never seen that vehicle in person. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Seeing it on TV was enough to
Mhm.
make me say, "Wow."
Yeah, I've seen that SEMA one year. It was probably the one you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was there. It was there the first year, the first season of their Bitch and Ride show.
Yeah.
That was really a challenge. They're a different kind of client. Or I worked with them for 10 years and I think my last builds with them were the CF ones. I think I sent the first 12 of those windshields and some of the assembly to it. But that account really let me just do whatever I wanted to do. They would say, this is what I need, and just let me run with it. I think Dave was creative enough and open enough to do that.
Mhm.
Some clients are very controlled. But I think, as far as Kindig, there was just a lot of stuff. There were Chevelles, there were Camaros, there were little Ferrari windows, sliding windows, where I'm actually touching vintage Ferrari products and replacing them, looking at them and saying, okay, duplicate this. They they gave me a lot of leeway to build it, and plus they were open on the integration side too.
Well, I mean, either way, at the end of the day, they had to trust you explicitly, to give you that leeway. I'm sure they wouldn't just do that with anybody. Really, I
Right.
mean, come on,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So,
We had some, the Riddler cars are always the best. We've had some really great Riddler cars. We had back-to-back station wagons, I think. Remember did you ever see the pink Mad Cad?
I've seen
No.
pictures of it. I haven't seen it in person.
So there was the pink Mad Cad, um, what was it? Super Rides by Jordan. It was Jordan that did that one. And there was the guys from New Ulm, Brad, that got it with a 63 Impala wagon. Wasn't it the next year for Riddler? So we got
I'm
to
not
do
sure.
all of that stuff. I'm sorry?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think my first Riddler or Great Eight was Rad Rides by Troy. That's how I fell into the automotive side from a hot rod perspective, was building that window for Troy on the 56. I built the back window on the 56 Buick nailed for Rad Rides by Troy, and it made the Great Eight. And that was
Nice.
my coming out party.
That is
Nice.
great.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
So do you do like motorcycles or anything that you can put glass on?
Why are you saying motorcycles? Jesse James. He built this tool. He built this tool and he asked me to build a windshield, and they're very difficult to do. Jesse has a different thought process than a lot of my builders. So his stuff is very technical and it takes a lot of time. It's not something I can just rip through. I made one and then he says, okay, make them. Like, and it truly is this. I can't remember how I made the first one. I don't know. So I do some motorcycle stuff, but he would be the only person lately, that I've done anything for. I get asked a lot, but it's sometimes you can price yourself out of a part.
Right.
They don't, to get what they want, you have to build tooling, and sometimes some people just, it's not in their budget.
Especially for a one-off. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot. People, especially with older hulls or older car, everything. Sometimes manufacturers aren't stocking those anymore. So I get approached a lot for that. Sometimes we can help people out. Sometimes they're just
Yeah.
like, forget it.
Yeah, well, it's a very specialty market too. So, yeah, you're not in the five and dime store range of fabrication. People have to know that going in. That's for sure. Louis, I wonder if
So
Jesse James is making shields for the 45s. I don't know.
What is that?
I
Shields
wonder
for?
for the 45s. Like, he's built some 1911 style 45 semi-automatic handguns. That's one of his favorite builds. So I wonder if he's putting a little shield on there. So
I've got two
gun you make.
projects. I've got two projects working with Jesse. So I'm redoing his 54 Bel Air. And that's his personal car. And then there's one special project that he's got going on in the shop. And I just worked with his guys a couple of weeks ago. And it was really interesting because he called me and he said, hey, these guys want you to come and help them, teach them how to fit the windows. They had oversized, really large windows. And I'll tell you, those guys are sharp. I spent on the back window maybe 15, 25 minutes, and they had that sucker dropped in. And it's a large application. And then we went to the front, which was even more technical. And I'd say in under an hour, those guys had those windows dropped in, and it changed the whole look of the car. And they
Wow.
already were in, okay, this is what we're going to do with the frame. This is what we're going to do with this. But they did really, really well. That's a big part of it too. You know, you see a lot of the product in there, but the majority of it is fit by my clients. So
Oh,
what you're, yeah. So when you're seeing a Rad Rides car by Troy, you're seeing the Rad Rides car by Troy 100%. I
mhm.
just simply make the windows and they will go and do the drop fit and integrate it into the car.
Yeah,
You
just something
know,
you don't think about. Yeah.
and the clients, um, you know, it's not always quick with some clients to teach them, but the clients that are open to working with me and letting me show them how to fit the windows, they are successful. They do one part and then they do another part and then they do another one
Mm.
because it really changes the aesthetic of the car. You
Right.
Oh
know,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
sometimes sometimes thinning out the frame, sometimes pulling the frame, like my bubble tops. You know, those take a whole different look when you put those windows into the car.
Mm. So in what way? Because I know what they look like in the car, and I can kind of imagine what they look like out.
That big
But
frame is gone.
yeah, okay, that's the yeah, okay, yeah, and you
You know
just
what it does? Anytime, think of a Camaro. Anytime you take that big bulky frame, you know how it flaps over on the Camaro where it comes down,
right,
and then it's got the big rubber extrusion behind it, it's all gone.
yeah, yeah,
So we're filling that space from where that window is. And what we actually do is just open up that viewport.
mm,
You know, it makes it something different. So when you're sitting there and what you men do is just, and women too, is just stare at that car and you're trying to figure out what's
What's
slightly different.
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
In
that's what
that
got
frame.
yeah, that's what got me with the Ring Brothers with the flush mount glass. The first time I saw it, I knew I was seeing something different, and I
Yes.
couldn't quite put my finger on it at first. And I was sitting there
Hmm.
saying, "How come you can't figure this out? Come on, this is what you do." And then it hit me, and then I start once I cracked that code, then I started seeing a lot of other little things.
Yep.
I guess I trained my brain to look for that little subtle difference,
Yep.
and yeah, that's why those car builders are. That's what makes them phenomenal.
Dave Kindig did one year. I had him in my booth at SEMA. In 2017, I had the Blowfish, which was George Petit's car. Brad Rides built it. Troy Trepanier built that car. I had Wes Rydell's Agnes, which was my favorite. And I had a 68 black Camaro from Dave Kindig. And so Dave just took the frame. It was all flush mount, but they still put a frame over it and thinned out that frame. We couldn't push people away to get them out of the
Yeah,
booth.
yeah, yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, yes, I can go by every year of having certain cars in my booth, and I can tell you, the Copper Caddy, that was a
mm,
stare moment. Okay, the Streamliner for Rad Rides by Troy, that was just hands folded, and everybody would just stand there and look down and be amazed with the welds, everything about the car.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, anytime there's hardcore race cars in there, especially by Troy, like the Blowfish, people just, it's a stare moment, you know?
right.
And I can go through the list of how many SEMAs we had and the people that come through. Um, but that's what it's truly about. And it's also, I feel that a window should not be an eyesore. So when
Hmm.
we integrate something and we fit it into that car, theoretically, you should not even notice my work. You shouldn't notice my window. It
Mm,
should follow the body lines of the car. It should just open up the viewport. And most of my clients take certain shades because they want people to see the detail in the car.
yeah, yeah,
You know, they don't go too dark. They really want people to be able to see everything going on,
yeah.
and that's when it's successful.
Everything now is so just flat. But I look at the windshield from the '50s,
Yeah.
GMs, Chryslers. they had the intricate curves and
Yeah.
scalloped edges. I mean, beautiful work. They did some crazy work back in the 50s. It
I
was
got a 58 Buick in the shop right now, front and rear. What is that point that it comes to?
oh yeah, that was the
What
Buick.
is that?
That was just the styling point that Buick had, just like they had the portholes. That was kind of one of their signature touches. I'm not sure who the designer. My co-host on the radio show would know who that was because he's big on that end of it. But there was somebody who was a designer in charge and said, put that on there. That's going to be our signature.
They're
Yep.
like, they come at such a point
Yeah,
coming around the front and the rear.
yeah. Beautiful
Buick
glass.
has a lot of cars like that
Yeah,
have
beautiful
weird
glass.
windows.
Now, is that the one with the three section rear glass, the two that come around the side? And
Single.
okay, because there was one
Single.
with a three section that's gorgeous as well. It's just phenomenal glass, phenomenal stuff.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's I'm saying there's.
No, go ahead.
So if you look in the shop right now, so this will kind of give you an idea. What are we shipping out? So I just finished a 70 CUDA, a 33 Speedstar. I
wow.
have a 58 that I'm tooling, and a 62 Impala windshield set. I have, so the front and the rear, and they're different. I think it's the 62 that's different from my bubble top, the 61.
Well, 61 is a bubble top. Yeah, 60.
Yeah. 62 is just, it's big, but it's just slightly different.
It's
So
curved. Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of what I go in and I work on. And a Javelin.
Okay.
Wow.
Anything from a Javelin, and then my Tahoes. I still have an ongoing 97 Tahoe where I'm just retrofitting all of it. I finished the side glass, but I'm still working on that back window, because some cars are made differently. On the 97 Tahoe, they have a little hole for the windshield wiper on the back.
Yeah.
So my client doesn't want that. And then, they have some little rubber extrusion. So there's a lot, but at any given time, there's so many different parts that, that we put out. I think there's over 400 tools
Oh wow.
for any part you could.
I'm glad you came on because this is a whole different view of car building that we've never seen. You know what I mean? Never talked about.
We've talked to engine guys, tranny guys, we've talked to suspension guys, you name it. I mean, builders, body guys, but this is truly a unique aspect. Yeah. You're right, Louis.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Every single builder that I work with has taught me and got me to this point of 20 years. Every single one of them. And I, if I may, I wanted to just touch on this. When you were talking about how does this come about with the windows and what you do, a lot of times, there are clients that are building these cars and they're defining what that window looks like. So a lot of times they'll send me mock-up plugs. They'll create that window and pull it out and say, here you go. We try to get in when they're in doing the body work, the metal work, or they're before paint. We try to get in and integrate our product in. And sometimes we don't have that luxury. And 60% of the time we're after the fact, but we do a good job.
Yeah, I'm sure the sooner you can get in, like in the body work phase, it's better. Yeah. Like I said, because I see that part of cars where things don't fit. Things just aren't the same on every one of them, and on any given one, there's so much variance because the assembly line didn't build them that way. We weren't talking about hand-built, coach-built cars here. They were assembly line cars, and now these things are 60 years old.
Yep.
And God knows what they could have gone through. So yeah.
Okay, so we're about 45 minutes in. We're going to let the fellas come in. We got one of your buddies in the
You didn't tell me we were talking that long.
Wait a minute, hold on one second. I gotta plug my computer up. About to lose it.
Yeah, well, like we said before, it is just kind of a real light. We just like to talk. So before you know it, you look like wow, an hour, 2 hours went by. Yeah,
Yeah.
how'd that happen?
Okay, so we get the fellas in, and these are the people that these are our family members. They're all the
Okay.
same guys that come in. We all hang out. So we'll get these guys in. Wait a minute, I don't know that guy.
Hey.
Oh boy, trouble in the house.
What's up, fellas?
Hi.
Okay, Ray, you just say his build on the school bus was first class. I'm gonna have to correct you and tell you that was a no class build.
Well, I don't think you could take all the credit.
Hey, it's even
We
written.
know.
Some guy wrote on the back of the bus inside. It's still there. No class.
No class, Northwood High School, class of '85.
85. Wow, now you're making me feel old. Don't do that, Paul. Stop.
What's up, gentlemen and lady?
Terry,
How's everyone doing?
are you?
Good.
Doing good. You got my man. Oh, Brian, I'm waiting for it. Look at him.
Your sound's off, Brian.
This is a rare pleasure, Terry, to see you.
It's a long
Ah,
time.
man, it's been a minute. It's
We
been a
thought you
minute.
forgot about us.
No,
So-
never. Just getting home and passing out.
So Terry, you got some experience with G bodies, don't you?
A little bit.
A little bit. Can
Just
you
a touch.
contact me? We're not gonna hold up the show on this, but I'm in the middle of a '87 Aero Coupe project, and
Okay.
I need some input from somebody else who's a little bit more experienced than me.
Okay. Do you have? Is it a quick question?
No, this is going to be a long, drawn out thing. So
So
I need
we'll
to
get back to
you
that.
over the weekend or something.
Oh, 100%. But
Okay.
let me ask you a question. How you like my girl Carmen over there? Is there something special?
Oh, well,
Love her. What a talent.
I'd like to be able to sleep tonight. So all these ideas that I got going through my head about the glass work on the Jaguar project, I don't even want to bring up tonight.
And I tell you, it's funny because we were at SEMA, me, Lewis, and Tyler, and we saw the truck, the Richard Rollins. I think it was Richard Rollins' truck,
Yeah.
and it's an OBS pickup truck, and the roof is all glass.
Yeah.
And Lewis was like, "Yo, Terry, you should do this to your truck." And I was sitting there just looking. I'm just like, how, like I was just surprised because and beautiful truck, and it was black.
And Carmen, we stood there and did that stare for a while.
There you go.
For a while, and we just did. I was just like, I mean, can you get this piece? I mean, but the whole roof is glass. It's not like a sunroof or anything like that, but it's actually shaped like the OBS original roof. If you were to replace the roof skin, it would look just like that.
I did take out the battery light when I made tooling, and I did fill in. So technically, I did body work on the truck before I pulled all
There
my
you
tooling. But I did take that off. But
Yes.
technically, I still have one in stock. I have one in stock because Richard said, when I sold the job, I was like, yeah, I might. And I said, I might be able to wrap it all the way around. I think I can. And so the first one I made was really hard and it didn't wrap, but it covered the whole cab. So I brought it and I was all happy and I was like, look, it's so beautiful. And then they said, do you remember you said you could wrap it around the back? We want you to wrap it around the back. So I did. I had to go, I think I made that roof 4 times, 3 times, 4 times. And you know what? Those are the best guys to work with. Mike Coy, Josh, Kenny.
Josh is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Plug Josh with you all day long.
Tom, he's so calm.
Josh is awesome. We got text messages back and forth, and then the other girl, I want to say her name is Madrin.
Madrin.
Did you ever meet
Marina?
Maybe that's it.
Marina, dark hair. That's my homegirl.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Marina.
Okay.
She's spicy. I
Oh
love her.
yeah, she's spicy.
Yeah.
The other thing, Carmen, I gotta say to you is a thank you. Because you brought a tear to my eye just 15, 20 minutes ago. You mentioned Daryl when you were talking about the glass work and the molds and all that.
Yeah.
So thank you. Daryl is awesome. He's been a friend of
Mr.
mine for
Starberg.
over 30 years.
I have his book that he signed for me years ago, and I've never been to a show. I've just never had that opening.
Oh,
But when I met him, he's always from the moment I met him, he's always invited me. Like they've always been generous and I've always extended that. I just have never had that in my schedule. And just talking to him, he's like, and Gene Winfield too did a lot of plastic fabrication in his oven.
yes.
So they did. Some of those guys are my heroes. Just all of it.
And then
And the Daddy Rock
there's
too.
yes, Jesse James is well known, but there's some other incredible craftsmen out there that are not known because they don't want to be known. They just
Right.
want to stay and do their work. And it's fantastic that I've had the opportunity to see and meet so many of them and work around so many of them. But get to Tulsa next year. Please.
You know what? I know. I hear it. This year could have been my year. And I just appreciate the fact that that invite and that reminder comes from them. I think it's his son that's
Cliff.
just, yeah. And
Cliff.
they're very, very sweet. A buddy of mine goes all the time, Mike Cook.
Mike
And,
Cook. I was going to ask how much work you've done with Midget Mike.
He's just we work together with Will Posey, Big Oak Run.
Okay.
That's where I met him, and he was working on that show with Royal Purple. What was that Courtney's show?
Courtney Hanson.
Yeah.
So there's those guys. But Mike's my buddy.
You gotta come party with us in Tulsa, and you can be.
Is that where you're out of?
No, I'm out of Dallas, or it's not Dallas, but I'm closer to Dallas than I am Tulsa.
I'm in Liberty Hill.
Honey, where's Liberty Hill?
I'm by Georgetown.
Where's Georgetown?
That's by
Austin,
Boston.
North
coming up.
Austin.
It's in Texas.
Yeah.
Big spot.
Really, I'm up by Winsboro, Sulphur Springs.
No, Frisco.
Frisco's closer to Dallas. I'm northeast.
Okay. Are you closer to Oklahoma?
I am 100 miles from Dallas, 100 miles from Texarkana on I-30.
Okay. Wow.
That's really a place, Texarkana. I thought it was just a town in on Smoking the Bandit. Smoking the Bandit.
You watch too much TV, Terry.
Terry, Texarkana is a legitimate town.
Mm-hmm.
And last year they had one big time Smokey and the Bandit celebration. And part of their Smokey and the Bandit tour came through here.
What, do they have the Coors facility there?
I have no clue.
Wait. Go back to the top. You guys said everybody at Gas Monkey, but you know what? I have to say this. I have a lot of clients, but Richard Rollins was extremely good to me. I have to say that.
See, this is where I'm keeping my mouth shut.
But he is. See, he's good to me. He's kind. His wife is amazing. That whole Gas Monkey Garage crew, for me to go and do my job, they were nothing but supportive, and it wasn't easy. That's not an easy build. That roof panel, that's not easy.
Yeah.
And there's time frames and there's things that have to be done, and I'm made very aware of that. But they're always helpful. You know, I had a McLaren project at the McLaren dealership, and I needed help on something, and Mike and Josh, like, they were helpful to me. They have nothing to do with McLaren, but they supported, you know, my issue that I had. So I have to say that, you know, I've had the best experience with them. So
Like I
there
said,
you go.
I'll praise Josh and I'll give him all kinds of credit. Josh is younger than me, and that's rare that I give anyone younger than me any kind of credit in the automotive world. But no, I got respect for Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were sitting there looking at that truck. And like I said, it was a thing where, because it's black and you don't realize, Lewis had to actually tell me that that was a glass roof because it looked like it was just a really high polished car. It just looked like a regular OBS pickup truck.
I
And I
saw
was like,
pictures in Vegas of them. Some YouTuber was driving, and Josh was saying they took pictures from a hotel, like looking down in it, and you could see it.
Oh wow.
yeah, because it was that much of an attraction. We stood at that truck for a good while.
So Carmen, actually, me and our other friend was walking through, and Terry was being a slowpoke, so we left him at the hotel. So we get to this truck, and I'm like, man, Terry got to come see this truck. And Terry never goes in this building. It was in the, I think, the west. And I was like,
where the
Terry, you
trucks
gotta come
are.
over here and see
It
this
was.
At
No,
the
I-
System X booth, that polish booth or whatever.
truck.
Yeah, I'm in there with the hot rods on, with the high performance. You know, like I don't
Central
want to see the
Hawk.
camp. I don't want to see the campers and stuff like that. Why am I here, man? And
But
they had
he-
to. I think
But
he got me
learned,
breakfast
he
and stuff like
learned
that,
that
Eggman muffin or
three other
something.
things.
Yeah, I was just like, this ain't. Why am I here? Oh, look at this truck.
Terry, you should do that roof, man, on your truck. It looked good.
Terry needs to put the CUDAs on his car. See, that's the thing. The CUDA that he's doing right now, it's as simple. He takes that frame out, he takes the window out, he takes everything out, cleans up that area, does not have to body work that car. Those windows will drop in.
There you go.
What frame?
They
What
will
frame
drop
are you
in.
talking about? You said take out the frame. What do you mean by that?
If the CUDA, does your car have I'm assuming, does your car have a frame that holds the window in?
It's
No.
actually the
Or
leg,
just a
Terry,
rubber?
where the window sits on the butyl.
Oh, when it sits on the so it has like almost like a pocket where the window will sit, a channel,
That's
if you
what you
will.
call the
Right.
frame.
That's what you call the frame. Okay, so you have to cut that all out.
No.
No, I mean, so I have a CUDA that's been done, but is there a rubber extrusion around that window when
No,
you put
No,
it
he
in?
doesn't have a gasket. Terry's
No.
car
No
has a gasket.
gasket.
Mounts on butyl.
there you go. Butyl tape, butyl, whatever rubber. Yeah, butyl.
And
So
then
is
you have
that the one that goes around the window?
No,
No, it's not like it's not like an old
down.
truck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you lay the bead of butyl caulk down, and the
Oh.
window just presses onto it.
just presses onto it. It's held in by after the beetle. You have to put some of that adhesive, whatever.
Urethane.
And then you
Urethane,
put the
yes.
stainless trim on. Yeah, then the stainless
Yeah.
trim on top.
So you would delete the trim.
You take all of that out. Yep. And just have an
And-
1/8 inch gap all the way around.
And then you have to also get rid of the little pieces that hold the trim in, like those little studs
Clips.
that go all the way around. Yeah,
Right.
They're held in by little studs.
You would
So
have to grind those out. Yeah.
grind those down.
Some
Yeah,
people
Usually
leave them
half-
in, some people take them out.
Usually half of them are rusted out anyway, Terry. So you got to find new ones to put in place. At least
yeah.
I
My
do.
pillar, the ones on the pillar are still there because remember I had to change. I 95% of that CUDA was resheet skin.
Right.
I say
at least
we're
90.
putting them in. I say we're putting them in, and we're going to come out and install them.
Terry.
There you go.
Hey, I'm Terry's management. I always tell him, hey,
Yeah. He's
You got to do what you got to do.
He was talking for me at Summit. He was talking for me at McDonald's. He was talking for me at where else? At SEMA. Yeah, that's my mouth. It's got to go through Lewis.
My goodness. Who are the other two gentlemen that just joined?
Okay.
it's Jim and Coach Isaac.
I'm Coach
Yeah,
Isaac.
Hi, how are you?
We love hanging out.
Doing good.
Carmen, this has been some of the most technical stuff I've ever heard on this show, and I've been here for a while.
I say we go back to telling stories.
We
Fine.
do that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
we'll
do
start
that
telling
Before we
lies
go
in a
back
while.
to telling stories, I got one more question for Carmen.
Sure.
Since we brought up Mr. Daryl Starbird and his son Cliff, have you had any talk or ever talked to Cliff's wife?
No.
Okay, because she's one of the ones that Cliff's wife and Cliff's sister are the ones that try to bring the celebrities in for the shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if you'd had any action with them.
Who's the celebrity?
You!
You.
If you know Mike Cook, you're a celebrity.
Hey,
How well do you know Mike Cook?
Not well enough to say that he's a friend to call at 2:00 in the morning to get out of jail, but well enough to know that he could be the one sitting next to me in jail.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but he'd be the one to get you out. He'd be the one. Oh, he's a sweetheart. Oh
So
my
Carmen,
goodness.
let me ask you this though, Carmen. Do you have
Yeah.
any builds you could talk about on the horizon? No, what's going on?
I think we did. I have a 74-foot World Cup race boat that I'm retrofitting. I built this big giant windshield that the client puts on. He's one of my billionaire clients. And he puts this big windshield on. It's 10 feet. It's just a little over 10 feet. It's 3/4 thick. And when they're at regattas, because it's a Frank Gehry, you know, the guy that designed the Disney Opera House in LA. He designed this hull for Mr. Cohen. He's the largest, I think, the grocery store chain distributor in New York. And so he had Frank Gehry design this amazing boat. It's called Foggy. If you can Google Foggy and you'll see it. Mr. Gehry passed away a few months ago, and they are retrofitting the boat to get it ready for the New York 250th 4th of July celebration this year.
Okay.
And so he asked me to build another window. So that's coming in. So that's an exciting project. You know, that's a $60,000 window, to give you an idea. That's not what all the windows cost. I just got to say that.
yeah, right. We
Some
know.
a lot more.
No, but this is a very special boat. So we have that, and then just the regular car stuff that's coming in. And then we're working on a special project of my videographer, Benjamin Wood, and I have, he's not here. Where is he?
I don't know where he is, but Ben is the guy that got me on Monster Garage. He
Yeah.
was like one of the head I guess you would photographer,
Executive
producers,
producers.
executive producer. He does you've seen his work.
Robert
You've seen a lot of his
Downey
work.
Jr.
The
Robert Downey
yes.
Jr. show, he got his first Emmy. Now it's going to be a year and a half ago. He got his first Emmy for Mr. Robert Downey Jr. show, that electric show. Isn't he the reason he produced a segment for ABC News? He does a lot of ABC News segments. He did, how many seasons was he up in Alaska doing Bering Sea Gold? And my favorite, Love After Lockup.
Yes. When he was up in Alaska, I called him every week laughing at him.
We did too. And now he has his own show on YouTube.
On YouTube, yes. Yes.
He's doing pretty good. He's doing
killing
pretty
it.
good.
He's a good guy,
You know,
really good guy.
Yeah, I've been filming a documentary since June of last year for a special project that I'm working on. We're not done. I can't talk about what it is. But
It's going to be big. She told me it's going to be pretty big.
I didn't tell you anything on this YouTube show, did I?
Terry, she's not admitting to anything live on air, brother. Wow.
Oh, you talking about? I thought you were talking about the boat. My bad.
Yeah, the boat.
Okay.
No, we have a really neat project that a very special couple of clients, a group of clients that basically put me on And we're rounding the corner. I think we have a little bit more to go and we'll be finished. And then I think it'll be a nationwide project. People will know what we're doing. It's so awful to say it. It's like you can't. We're filming a documentary, we're telling the story, and it's a very special build. So, yeah. I don't know why. So, but I don't know, I'm working on a Riddler truck. This is the first time that I'm actually doing the installation. You know, a client in Weatherford, Texas, brought the vehicle to me, brings it to my shop, and that's a big responsibility. You know, I've been a
Yeah.
part of a lot of Riddler cars, um, but it's a big responsibility when everything on that window has to be perfect, you know, the front and the back. And for the client to let me do that, that's a big deal for me.
Let me ask you this though, Carmen: is the truck, is it painted, or is it? I mean, is it almost? I mean, is it done pretty much? Or when you get these cars in, I mean, do you gotta do any type of body work to make them fit perfect or anything like that? I mean, as far as, I
For
mean,
the for the Riddler, so that's a thing too. So let's clear that up on this show. You guys will help me. So I have done this for 20 years and I try not to fit boat windshields. You know, I transitioned out of that. To fit a boat windshield, I have my own windshield kit, and it's a 3-piece wraparound windshield kit that goes in Eliminators, Nordics, what is it, Outer Limits. You know, every OEM powerboat builder has my kit. And for years, from start to finish, I could spend 12 to 14 hours per window. And then when we shared with you, I was lifting a 90-pound window, I do a drop fit, which means an exact, precise fit into the hull. And now I've kind of transitioned out of that. So it takes a pretty special client, um, for me to be able
To
to
go back.
work on their car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the more you say no,
More
That's
money
what
comes
I'm
up.
learning. The more you say no, the more they want to pay you to have you do it.
exactly. And sometimes it's like it's just no. And I don't think I've ever gotten away with just saying no to anybody. You know, especially with car guys, you know that. There are some people that will say, I want the best window and I want her to do it, or I want this person to do it. They are very specific on what they want. And it may not be a Riddler car. It just may be that person that says, I want the best person doing this. And so, you know, I try not to. I'm going to be 80 years old and they're going to have me fit in windows.
No, you'll train the
Some of
next
my customers
generation.
now, they don't tell me that it's going to be a Pebble Beach car, or this
Hmm.
car is meant for Amelia Island on some of the concourse work I do. They
Yep.
have learned not to tell me that is a $10,000 Barani wheel until after I've hit it with the hammer.
But isn't that the difference between Riddler and Pebble Beach? Sometimes they'll tell you, and sometimes I feel that those clients are more private about what they're doing, because I kind of think that they feel that your pricing will change when they see that concourse or that type of vehicle that they're going for.
Yeah.
They know that I don't want anything to do with a class build car, which is what led my name to no class.
Mm.
I don't want to do a showpiece that
Right.
people drool over. I want to do cars that people go out and beat the crap out of.
Thrasher,
So
thrasher.
drivers.
Mhm.
So
So
your vehicles aren't trailer queens, they're drivers.
they're drivers. So the
Yeah.
guys with these XKEs and the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and all these other outrageous cars, the Pebble Beach days for me are way over with.
Yeah.
So if you want me involved in the project, don't tell me it's going to Pebble Beach because there's a good chance I'm going to tell you no again.
But see, those are preferences that we've come up as manufacturers or builders or within our process. Those are our limitations because it's been throughout the years where there's certain things that just don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
And I truly don't have to. My clients should be doing this pretty much themselves. I
Mhm.
think I think the most successful builds I have are when they're able to go and drop fit their windows, and then they decide. Some people want an 1/8 inch of a gap for that bead. Some people want a 16th. Some people want to put, I have one client that puts an actual rubber extrusion around it, and then glues in, like on my fastbacks. He does them a whole different way. Some people will just build up that bead, set them. There's so many different applications, and I have seen all of my clients tackle each installation differently. And it's not that there's something wrong with that car where there always a variance. It's their vibe, it's their aesthetic, it's their look and feel of how they want to finish that car.
In just about a paragraph, you've defined hot rodding. Exactly what it
Yes.
means. You do it
Yep.
your way, and it's your vision, and that's it. Done.
Yep.
Nobody can argue with you.
It's just one extra thing for them to be able to say, this is mine,
Well, it's in the details. Yeah, devil's in the details.
I'm gonna pull up some of your website and show the guys your stuff.
Oh, here we go.
I'm
This is
gonna
gonna be
I'm
fun.
gonna call it a night. It's after 9. I gotta wake up in the morning.
All right, Paul.
Very nice meeting you.
The
Very nice meeting you. Or howdy, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor. There you go.
All right.
All right, Paul. Have a good
Talk
week.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
Terry, I'll get a hold of you. Thank you.
Get a hold of me. You know how.
Yep.
That's a boat windshield.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a 90-pound windshield right there.
Mm.
So I'm just basically closing all the gaps. So all of my windows, they fit as flush as that window. And that's just teaching. That's actually Dana's son. That's Big Dane's son. That's
Oh,
Desmond.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny you said Dane, Big Dane.
That's my dude, man. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. So that's just trying to teach guys what they need to be doing. And you see how heavy that window is? Now you know why I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you got to get the young guys to do that part of it.
Yeah.
I do.
Sure.
I'm always hey, get over here, lift this, move this.
Oh, wait, go back. That's Slim Thug.
Right here.
That's Slim. Yeah.
I
I did his Cadillac window. That
Caddy.
young man is so nice. He's amazing. He gives me so much positive feedback on everything I do. Any projects, anything for him, he's
Look how clear.
extremely
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, you can see the shine on the hood, like it's like you're looking at it, with your bare eyes. I mean, wow, we're gonna work on that car. That's a hell of a caddy.
It's a 59.
Wow.
I would not have thought, just from the interior alone. I would have thought of something.
No, I knew it
Updated,
was I was thinking like 60, 61, but the dashes was similar.
Yeah.
Beautiful car.
Look how clear that windshield is. I mean,
It's like it's not
incredible.
even there.
yeah.
So you
But
can
now
run
once-
your wiper blades on it. It's scratch coating. We do a scratch resistant process. That's the skater windshield. So when we trim it all down, that's my first boat windshield that I made. That's one side. It's a 4-piece assembly. So that's 3/4 thick.
Wow. I was a little 3/4 thick from that view, but I believe you.
So yeah, that's a skater. That's one side. That's a port
What
side.
are you cutting? You're cutting on that line?
Yes, I'm sponsored by Dremel. That's an ultra saw. So we used to cut these with Bosch T101B reverse blades so they wouldn't come up. And then Dremel came out with this this small tool, and that blade is so fine and it cuts through. That's 3/4. That watch, you'll see that how thick that piece
Good
is.
to know. I have a motorcycle, a BMW
It cuts through
motorcycle.
5 of us too. I'm sorry.
I have a motorcycle that has a windshield, and I wanted to cut a couple inches off it. And I found out what I had to do is back in there, I had to buy a jigsaw. And I don't know what the right term is, but instead of the blade going just up and down,
Reverse.
it would dip. It kind of goes up and down, but on a kind of on an angle, like it dips. And
Right.
that's what you had to use with a fine tooth blade for plexiglass or any kind of a plastic. And it works great. But this looks even nicer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Yeah, you can see how thick it is.
Yeah,
That
you
is-
see how I used to be able to carry those.
Well, you're carrying maybe the 20-pound part of it right there.
So it's
That's
a lot
great.
of work.
Brian, what are you thinking about acrylic for Mustang glass?
I would love it. I would on my fastback. I want the 2-inch Shelby drop in the back, so the glass comes up underneath.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in the process, or I haven't done it yet because I'm a long way, but I have basically plexiglass for the side windows and everything. I don't know what I'm going to do about the front windshield.
All right.
What year is your fastback?
66.
66, 67.
I'm already thinking my Fiat. It has tunneled headlights, and I think it would look cool with headlight covers. That'd be a perfect project too, because like on the Datsun Z's or the Porsches, they put those tunneled headlight covers on. Carmen, we got a question from the sky, from the ether. Bill wants to know, what's the process to make a window tinted?
The color, the pigment, the color is in the cast. So how do you say it? So you just order a color. We
So you have to
order all
order
of
the
our
material in the color that you want. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, because it's color.
So-
Because it's through. It's not on top. It's throughout.
Throughout. So
Yeah.
the pigment is in the cast, and if you cut it, you keep cutting it down, it's always going to be the same.
Right. Got it. There you go, Bill. Thanks for your question. That's excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're reading the people?
I got a text. Yeah, it's a friend who watches the show, but he doesn't come onto the screen. So he's always out there. So he'll send me stuff.
So anybody in the chat, if you have a question, put it up now and we can put it on the screen.
Having said that, I got to get this little guy to bed. It comes early in the morning. So listen, Carmen, we'll talk. Everyone
sir.
else,
Terry, it's been a pleasure.
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I'll see you guys next Thursday. I'm gonna stay up next Thursday and hang out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yo, the
Come on.
sand man, he's not just sprinkling, man. He's hitting me with a 50-pound bag of sand, man. I'm sorry. Pass me out.
Don't work so hard.
All right,
I'll
talk to
try
you
not
tomorrow.
to. I'll talk with you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Take care,
All right,
Terry.
later.
Thanks, Terry.
Oh,
So,
man.
so Terry's the one that hooked us up with Carmen to be on the show tonight. So we
Okay,
appreciate that.
nice.
It's awesome.
Nice guy.
It's awesome. So when you shape that, I mean, I don't know, you just build a jig, and is that just by heat? And how does that actually, how do you put a curve in, like that roof, how did you put a curve in it?
I
love
made
that.
tooling.
Prime Tobacco Man pump. That's what I was waiting for. We primed that pump, and now he's gonna go. That's it. I'm sorry.
Look,
Terry.
20 years, do you know how many ways I've been asked, how do I manufacture parts? So first and foremost, we just don't talk about the in-house process. I can talk about it in a generic way. So we take flat stock and we bend it. Everything, we're not pellets, we're not injection molding, we're not doing any of that. All of my stock is flat. So it's a thermoforming process. So there's many different types of tooling, molds, whatever you want to call them. We can pretty much form anything. There's also
So
a
you're
process.
telling me
Mhm.
that it's top secret, and I have to give you a couple shots of tequila before I get any information out of it.
Yeah,
I have been asked by Better Than You.
but
I have been asked on a repeated build. I have been asked over and over and over to make me break. I haven't broken.
Actually, Carmen, I think what you should do is, I mean, it's very nice of you, and you put it in a very nice way. I mean, you stuck it right up Brian's keister very nice.
No,
We just ram it up. But no. What I'm saying is, I think what my thought is, you should just. I mean, you have a set. You have an answer in mind. You know what you're going to say, without saying what you really do. I think you should just say that and let everybody think that that's just like, oh wow, yeah, okay, that sounds good, and
we
they'll never know
always
that
do
it's a
that,
secret.
but we always do that. But there's
Okay.
some things. So you have to remember too. I'm 20 years in, and then I'm still deciding how am I gonna retire and go out, because I don't want what I do to die. You know what I mean? I have really spent a lot of time in it. I would like my son to continue, but that's not his path.
Right.
So, and I've only got one boy. So I don't want to not answer him. I think it's talking about it in generic ways, because when we start talking
Right.
about the F-16 canopies, that's a stretching process. So you're asking me, how do you get those bends? How do you get those curves? Each each application or each thing is a different process,
Yeah.
has a different answer.
Well, that's the thing. When you tell us it's a stretching process, we all know what it means to stretch something.
Right.
So we know what it's like to stretch
Right.
elastic or even cotton, but something non-malleable like that, we know, well, it's not just a process of just obviously stretching it. There's a lot more like metal forming.
Right.
When you shrink or stretch metal, so you could tell people, oh yeah, we just shrink it and we stretch it. They don't know it. You don't know what that means until you've seen it or actually done it yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I mean, when you say, yeah, we just stretch it, I mean, I guess we're content to say, okay, I mean, in my mind, I'm saying, all right, there's a lot more going on here than she's saying.
Yeah.
But
It-
but
It's
we're not
about
going.
equipment. It's about process. It's about
Yeah.
every bit of equipment. We are not a company that uses heating elements, cow rods, things like that. That's not who we are. We're big power. So when I moved into my new facility, I had 3-phase and my own direct pole for fabrication. So that's the kind of demand that we use. And it's always been that way from day one. It's just, we can't tell somebody how we do process. It's like you
Right.
you give it
Right.
away.
Well,
Then
yeah,
what's special about me?
I mean,
So-
but listen, the other thing is you could tell us exactly how you do it, and we're still not going to replicate
I
it
know.
because of the machinery alone. So you could tell us the whole damn thing, give us the blueprints, and like shit.
Yeah, but you will
I had
you
a
will
guy.
have
Wait,
you will have
I,
that one guy listening that'll figure it out. He's like, oh, I got it.
Well,
Yeah.
I
you know
had
what?
one guy that worked with me for 8 years. My right hand. I think it was almost 10 years. 8 years. And I had to have surgery or something, and Disney was like, I told them I'm going in, I'm having surgery, we're done. Come Wednesday, I'm out. And I have to have surgery. Disney shows up and they said, "Here you go. Whatever it takes." And when you get whatever it takes money from Disney, you do whatever it takes.
yeah.
So I tell my guys, I'm like, okay, all right, guys, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna have this procedure done, and then you guys are just gonna run these parts. The day after my surgery, I was in there running the parts to get whatever it takes money.
Oh no.
So you're with me 8 years, and now I'm letting you go. Go do it. And I'm the coach. I'm the lady that's like,
Well, that's a
I
true
want
leader.
you to learn.
Listen, that's a true
Exactly.
leader. Generals in battle. You have to trust your men. You have to train them and let them go. And like they say, you should know the job of the guy ahead of you and the guy below you, because if anyone drops out, you got to be able to switch positions. So that's an excellent, management model.
Well, they try. It's just I think what is different for me is that I really love what I do.
Yeah, that makes the
You
big
know,
difference.
I really like helping my clients. I really like finding and being the resolution or the answer for them. Because sometimes when they call me up, they're just, I don't know. You know, they're at a point where they're just like, I don't know how I can't get this. And
Right.
you know, to do a little bit more or help them or figure it out for them, that's important. You know, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes my parts come out. I just try to make them really pretty, really nice.
Well, you're
If
like
you
an
love what you're
artist.
doing, it's not really work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in, like piggyback on Brian. So, where you were saying there's the generic answer, but part of that's also because, from what I was hearing before I jumped on, you were talking about the clarity in your product, and
Right.
I'm sure with just the molding and stretching and all that stuff, somebody that has a little bit of knowledge probably won't get the same clarity because you have a special process with it. Is that correct?
Yes, the best answer is there's a million people that fabricate like I do. There's tons of people that thermoform, but we all have our different process, and we all have our different deliverable. My deliverable has to be, and this has gone over these years. If I send a window out that has a speck in the coating, and it could be like the pin, it could be teak right there, where normal tolerance, and I've seen stuff, is 50,000 of them. It gets returned to me. If I have a part that, you know, things happen, it could delaminate, you know, coating, maybe I missed, you know, maybe I just didn't process right. It happens. My tolerance for our automotive industry is like nothing. There is no tolerance for any sort of flaw
Blemish.
in my parts. And I built that standard myself. But you know, uh, a lot of people do it, but my end deliverable is going to be optics, clarity, and fit. For the price my clients pay to me, they're going to guarantee, I'm guaranteeing those optics. I'm guaranteeing that part. You know, and if there's anything that ever goes wrong with that part, because it's happened, it comes back and we replace immediately. But there are people that are down and dirty and cheap, and for certain individuals that works. You know, their focus isn't making it optically clear. Their focus may be, hey, it's got to be on that drag strip. You know, it's got to be on that drag car. You know, they're running it down 2 minutes down, you know, one lane. They're not on the highway, and it's not their daily driver.
Yeah.
So, you know, we all focus on different things. There's other people that fabricate. They just may not have my focus. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, no, it does. And on the video with the caddy, it shows that what
Oh,
you what you do with it. So yeah, 100%.
Does it
No,
ever?
he's
Yeah,
a big
that is
guy.
beautiful.
He's a good guy. I think there's going to be some really neat stuff coming out this year. I'm excited. I am excited about Jesse's builds because, you know, he's a perfectionist. You know, outside of who he is, his persona, he's just a perfectionist about his cars, and he's got good guys working there. You know, and there's a lot of neat cars that I'm tooling up and working on. And, you know, I've been on this project, this special project since last year, and I'm hoping to be done. But, you know, we'll fit it in.
My dad had a saying, and it sounds like you have that same train of thought. And my dad had a saying. He did carpentry and masonry, and his saying was, "Do it right or don't do it at all."
Exactly.
And that sounds like that's the train of thought you have with your work, and that, I mean, it shows in your work. It's awesome.
Thank you. You know, there's one of my clients, Charles Cruz, told me this. He said, you know, you as a vendor are giving us this product to put into our cars. He had a classic car studio. Noah and Charles had a really neat client out of Houston, Texas. Had so much bass, so much boom. It's that green Charger. Have you seen it? The green 70 Charger, 6970 Charger. It won everything a year ago. It won everything. It went to Barrett Jackson. Like, it's the most amazing, I guess you would call it like an olive green. It had the green interior. That car was just on point. And Charles told me, he says, you know, as a vendor, you're supplying us with something that goes into our vehicle. It's up to us as the car builder to know how to integrate your product into our car. Even if I didn't teach them or give them, they read the notes, it's up to them as the builder to figure out how to put my product into their car. You know, that's a big statement.
It,
Yeah.
it
You
goes
know,
both ways, though. It goes both ways. Yeah. But yeah, he's right. Yeah.
but it's a lot easier when I show you.
Well, yeah, hell yeah.
That's great, man. We appreciate the knowledge that you're giving us and a different outlook. Like I said before, that we've never talked about this end of the car.
No, Lewis. Why don't you put up some of the pictures from that file that you sent? Some of the cars that were done, because that's just phenomenal stuff to look at.
All right, hold on 1 second. Go ahead, keep talking. I got to pull it back up.
Okay.
On the cars.
Yeah, because seeing is believing. I mean, when you see this stuff, I mean, seeing it in person, of course, is better than anything at all. But just to see some pictures, it kind of drives home what you've been saying, and gives you another level of awareness.
Well, I always like to talk about and say, you know, a lot of the hot rod stuff on the automotive side, you know, I owe a lot of that to Troy Trepanier, Rad Rides by Troy, because when I came on to this scene and I worked with him, you know, he really told people about my company and about myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's the kind of builder that he just says, give it to her and let her do her own thing.
Right.
And that's how they all came. You know, they followed what he said. They let me just tool my way. And it meant a lot. Like he was a big push because his word carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You know,
You had
big
the
time.
absolute right endorsement. Yeah, without a doubt. I don't know what Paul doesn't like about Jesse James, but that's another one, man. When Jesse James says your stuff is good, man, it's you gotta believe that.
I think people have all these different ideas, and I think it has to do with them being stars and famous. But when I work with them, I see a different side of every single one of my clients.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I see there's Mike.
Mhm.
What are we
That's the
looking at?
Pantera.
The
Well,
Pantera, yeah.
yep, that's the Pantera.
Yeah,
Those
those
are
are the type of covers I'm talking about. Headlight covers like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How would they attach? Because they're
There's
not.
the Range Rover.
Oh wow, it's a Range Rover, huh? Jeez.
That's West Coast Customs. That's the first
Lamborghini doors.
season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the as Ray was asking, on the Pantera, how did those light covers attach?
They were glued in.
Okay.
I believe Mike
Glued in.
glued urethane them in.
See, the thing I think about is now if you have the headlights on, there's heat. So
Oh no, that even on a 1/4 inch, that material's not going to move. You know, a lot of my product is out in Havasu at 120, 125 degree, summer seasons where it's sitting in
Brody.
the sun all day. It's not going to move.
Yeah.
It
I was
takes
just
much
there a
more
couple
than
months ago.
120 degrees.
I was just in Lake Havasu a couple of months ago, or last month actually.
How was it? Hot?
No, it was beautiful. It was
There's the
perfect weather.
roofs.
oh wow. Yeah, those
I'm
are
proud of
those are
that.
the
I'm
key.
very proud of that.
You should be. Yeah, look at that.
The only thing that really detracts from that is what's on the ceiling of the shop.
Yeah.
Like if you could see blue sky, that'd be so much nicer.
That's Leggins Hot Rod, Steve Leggins. That's when I really started to get into the big back windows.
That's nice.
That truck. And
Is that Jesse's car?
no, but I'm doing one for Jesse right now. That was for Dave Tucci, some guy that worked
Oh,
with Dave
Tucci's hot rod. Yeah, interesting. The plate says 55.
Is that a Mercury?
No, it's a Chevy.
No, it's a Chevy.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
54 Chevy, 53, 54 Chevy, chopped heavily. That's got
Yeah.
like a 4-inch chop, or maybe a
Yeah, it's
5-inch chop,
beautiful.
and it looks like it's sectioned. Oh,
There it
there's Buick.
is.
Your
Yeah,
Buick
that's Buick.
on your windows.
Buick had the best side trim, man. That's the Riviera. The old Riviera had that same trim. Beautiful car. Those wheels alone
That's the other thing too, is that's the Easy Eye green. So we did a color match
yeah,
for everything. You
yeah,
know,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow, that's incredible.
61, yeah, the bubble top. Yeah, that is sharp.
that's
Now,
a 61 Sunliner. George
Sunliner, a Ford.
Petit.
Yeah, the front was surprised. The front is heavily modified, but when I went to the rear, I said, okay, that's a Ford.
Troy Ladd built that car.
Wow, look at that. The flush mount hood. That's
Mhm.
nice. The Lincoln had a hood like that, Brian, right?
Yeah.
The Lincoln hoods. Oh, there we go. There's Brian's car.
That's my first Week to Wicked car.
Cool.
That's a 65 Mustang Coupe.
Nice.
There's that Kindig, that 68
Oh,
Camaro I was talking about.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is sharp.
You
So
see how he thinned out the frame?
I'm looking at what's next to it, though. I'm looking at that gold car. Is that a
That's the Blowfish. That's the Rad Rides Blowfish for George Petit.
the front end? The front piece of the nose looks like a 90s Firebird.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
see
a
what you're-
69 Barracuda.
Oh wow. Heavily modified from Barracuda.
Heavily
Yeah.
modified. That's the 68 Camaro.
Oh man, look at the way that red pops. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
It's like there's no windshield in it at all.
yeah, so by eliminating some of the trim, it made the pillars stand out and the dash stand out more
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
Man.
Nice.
Yeah, I call this one the Fine Nine. This didn't make Detroit,
No, huh?
but
No.
Oh
he
jeez.
made my Fine Nine. It didn't make the Grade 8, but he made the Fine Nine.
I can see why. Look at that. They molded the spoiler right back into the rear opening.
Yeah.
That is wild.
That's
real-
Cam Miller.
I love the bumper just integral into the body. That is
Yeah.
oof. That is
That rear window looks good too. It has some pop to it.
oh nice.
That's a 73 Corvette.
See, that's what I was saying. We talk about this stuff, but not until you see it can you start really picking apart details and getting an appreciation for for what goes on. And anybody who works on cars, ooh,
That's a Skater. That's how, those are those big windows.
yeah, that is big.
Look how
That's
big
four,
it is.
that's 2 pieces or 4 pieces.
4.
Wow.
Yeah, with the okay.
That's a 27 for Jesse Greening. Greening Auto.
That's nice.
Oh, that's my little truck.
That's
It's
cool.
so there's a story. So it's a 59 600 Milia, I think it's what it is. The president of Fiat
yeah.
commissioned these buses. It has a big roof panel. So he commissioned these buses to drive around the factory and give people tours.
Ah,
So one of my museum collectors had me remake the roof panel, the windows, like all of it.
okay. Well,
But
that's the car.
there's a big one in there.
That's the car I'm talking about having the headlight covers made for is a Fiat, but a Spider.
This is just kind of a Blazer. There it is. There's Maybelline.
Wow.
I did that hood scoop in the window, but the hood scoop, it took a couple of times to make it. I love that car.
Look at that butterfly bumper. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
She is my favorite.
Yeah, that's when cars had. I mean, that's obviously restyle, but that's when they had style.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. Oof.
Just corner cabs. You know, there was a lot that I
Prime
did
window.
for those dudes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Huh.
Well,
The
that'd be
Copper
a rough
Caddy had
window.
a light bronze tint to those windows.
That is something else.
Yeah.
But you see, that you're not supposed to see the windows stick up in an eyesore and
Right.
something that stands out. You're just supposed to be able to look right through them, and they should integrate into the body of the car. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful.
You should see it in person.
Oh, I could imagine.
There's no joke. It's one of those you stare at it to see what's going on.
And it almost makes me want to put on a Batman cape and jump in it. It's beautiful.
That's a skater.
American Pie.
Mm.
Yeah. There we go.
57. Okay, that's foggy. That's that boat window I'm telling you about.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You can't really see it, but
It's a beautiful boat, mahogany.
Right up here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's one hell of a window. If you can't see it, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Right. Right. Now you're catching on, Isaac.
Oh,
That's,
okay. This is El Dorado.
Yeah,
El Dorado,
Eldorado, Joe
wow.
Ray.
So this is Ray.
Joe Ray.
Yeah, Joe Ray's from Lowrider magazine.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Wow.
And guys, when I seen this car at SEMA, I showed pictures of it. Every time I see it, I see something different in the paint.
Mm.
Remember
Mhm.
I talked about it? It's actually maroon. This
Is
is
it?
before I painted it.
Jeez. That's got some heavy flopping flake then.
Yeah, and it has so much stuff in the paint. Is every time I see it, I see new stuff. But
Yeah.
this glass roof, man.
Yeah. There you go.
Joe was my neighbor. He's my buddy.
Oh
There's
yeah.
the Mariani. That's the streamliner
yeah.
I was talking about.
So I talked to Joe at SEMA.
Mhm.
Every year I talk to him. I'm like, hey man, you gonna come on my show? Yeah. I give him my card. He never gets with me.
He's
So,
got his own show now.
yeah, see, he's competition now.
Well, hey, we all cross promote. Come on, that's what we do.
You know, he was an altar boy. Did you see the Quaker role models? Did you see his story?
No,
No.
Makes you cry. Will make you cry.
really.
He was an altar boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him on the show. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catch him on a Thursday at SEMA and go
Yeah.
live.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That that car on the salt flats with the canopy, is that
Yes.
the one you were talking about earlier that took the
Yeah.
took the strike?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That is sick.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Dave ain't playing around.
So this is Kevin. These headlights that they made go down and
Yeah.
but see, this is where they get into it. If you look at the next one, they start from there, go down, and then go out. You see 3 different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when my clients get into and are used to building on their own, and then they start deciding, okay, well, I'm going to change this. We're going to put this headlight in here. You know, this is all them. Excuse me. That's none of me. That's all them. That was Kevin. And that's Big O. That made the
Yeah.
Great Eight.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
See, it's
Yeah.
dark.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
Taking a nap.
yeah. That's a
Build
bubble
up the
top. That's how I live.
Yeah.
Behind the glass.
Behind the glass.
That Leggins truck was just amazing, though. You know, those dudes, they built their own plug. They filled that space. And then they let me, excuse me, they let me run, run with it. They did a good job.
Yeah, they did.
We put aircraft grade. That was more of a flat based application. But that's a Rad Rides car. That's a West Rydell.
It's one hell of a
You
trophy back there too.
know, that's the AMVR.
Jeez.
That's Pomona.
Wow.
Wow. You need
It's a
truck for the
Phaeton.
trophy.
Phaeton. It's Troy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dude. That's my mentor. That's Mr. Troy.
It's out of the Salt Flats.
Yeah. That was my first trip out there, I think. But it was exciting to just see that streamliner was built in about 4 months. I think
Wow.
it was 4 months. Well, his father died in March. What's today? His father died in March, and then I was close to his dad. See, that's the Royal Rover. That's the opening. That's when they said, "Come down, check this out." And so you see how big I made that roof panel.
Yeah.
So, but Troy's dad had passed away, and that was just the project the Marianis, asked him and commissioned him to build. Well, it was a very bonding time to be with them. That's when Dave's show hit.
Oh
That's
yeah.
his first autograph signing in our booth.
Oh wow.
People were lined around. There was a lady that was like, I'm sitting here. I'm not moving till he comes."
Kev Dog.
Uh-huh. You know what, Kevin would let me just build whatever I wanted to build. Never an issue. And
So
always facilitated what I needed.
he's been on the show. He's been on with us.
Who, Kevin?
Yeah. And so I was with Kev and Dave at a show, and I was like, Dave, you got to come on the show. Kev's already been on. He got you beat. But I always have a hard time catching up with his management. So
Oh.
these guys are busy, so I can't. I'll try to get them.
They shouldn't be too busy now.
Oh, that's true.
That's Virgin's. That's West Coast Custom. That's the Virgin box that we did for Virgin Gaming. All that was West Coast.
Yeah.
Those were the Tron car, the rims that
Oh
were
yeah.
machined out.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. So when you talk about that you worked with Troy Trepanier and
Yeah.
some of these different guys, you say you're in Texas. Did you move around and now you're settled in Texas, or?
No, I'm born and raised in California, and then I moved to Texas in 21. But I always clients ship in product. They
Yeah,
ship
okay.
everything in, or I go and see them for Troy. If there's a new build, he'll tell me about it. They'll ship me parts, or I'll go back. I'll go out and see the car. There's different things like the Blowfish. We put polycarbonate on it, and it looks amazing. There are so many different things. Clients just really ship in their windows to me from everywhere around the states, and we rebuild.
Yeah.
It's a lot of retrofitting. It's sometimes the cars don't have any glass. A 64 Nova was really hard to find the back glass. And so sometimes my clients are on massive hunts, or sometimes they just have to fabricate a back window, and fill that space.
Nice. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark.
Jeez. I thought, remember, didn't we say 1 hour?
Yeah. So that means
thank
we were
you so
having
much.
fun.
No.
And
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, listen, I tell everybody this. You are family now, so you're always welcome to come on. If you want to promote anything, or if you just want to come hang out and tell lies with us, just come
I'll
hang
do
out.
that. I will do that.
And
So let me just say this in closing. So this is what Ben and I kick around a lot, the videographer. we've started to film process, Brian.
Mhm.
We've started to, you know, he's in the magic room. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of what I think about, is how I want to go out. And I think that I would love to share what I do and teach people what I do. I think
Oh
that would
yeah.
be really neat.
Yeah, that'd be great. So when he comes on, I'm going to schedule him in a couple weeks to come on. You can come back on with him, you know, hang out with him.
I
That'd
don't
be
know if
great.
he's gonna let me. We
You
just
still,
traveled. He might be in a mood with me right now. He
yeah,
traveled while I wasn't well.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Of course, I'd love to be there.
And
So,
so Mike wants to come back on too. He hollered at me at SEMA because I didn't get him back on yet. So I'll connect up with you too when he comes on.
you know what? That would be fun. I called him today because I was going to
Oh,
tell him to get on.
yeah. So Jim, I guess he's kind of shy. He don't want to come on screen, so that's why he hasn't been on. But Mike loves it. He comes on.
Well, I'll call him too. I'll be like, hey, no,
Yeah, come on.
it'd be fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, yeah. We appreciate you coming on. And like I said, you're always welcome. Just text me.
Thank
And
you.
actually, on Facebook, I have a Planet Traffic chat group going on, and so I can add you to that. And anytime we have special guests, you'll get a notification seeing who's on going to be on.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'll add you to that.
And
And
when you guys come to Texas too, you can come and do a shop tour.
I would love
All
that.
this
I
stuff
was
we're
just
talking
there.
about makes more sense.
Yeah, I was just there last week. But I was up northern Texas because I googled you. I was going to swing down that way, but you're a little bit lower.
You can. You come on by. It'll make a lot more sense when you're there.
Yeah, I'd love to. Love to. We'll do a
All right,
live
guys.
from there. All right, Carmen, thank you for coming on, and everybody in the chat, thank you for all your questions, and tell all your people that we do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, and we just hang
Thank you
out.
so much.
Yeah,
Nice
thank
meeting
you.
you all.
Anytime.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Bye. See you
Have a good
soon.
night.